This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story, the backlash over the deadly chaos spawned by the white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Returning to Trump Tower for the first time as president, President Trump is met by more protests. The president's attempt at damage control doesn't appear to be enough for the thousands of protesters gathered in New York City. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest on the backlash.
A very unwelcome first homecoming in New York City for President Trump.
No KKK, no fascist USA!
As protests and outrage over his initial response to this weekend's hate-fueled violence in Charlottesville follow him to Trump Tower. 48 hours after a woman lost her life protesting against a white nationalist rally, President Trump denounced the hate groups involved.
Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups.
I think it's too little too late, and I don't think it's genuine.
Well-known white nationalist Richard Spencer seems to dismiss Trump's comments.
Does anyone really believe that? He was saying vague statements that don't have a lot of meaning, to be honest.
Spencer and other white nationalists have credited Trump's anti-immigration America First policies with their rise into the mainstream.
We are determined to take our country back. We're going to fulfill the promises of Donald Trump.
After what some called the president's slow response to Charlottesville, 3 prominent CEOs all quit the president's manufacturing council in a single day, including Kenneth Frazier of Merck. The president's response time to his resignation, mere minutes, blasting him on Twitter almost immediately. And the protests are set to continue with thousands of people expected outside Trump Tower here in New York City later today. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
And late this afternoon, President Trump addressed the violence in Virginia at a Trump Tower press conference. He defended his initial response. President Trump telling reporters he was slow to condemn hate groups because he didn't know all the facts.
I wanted to make sure, unlike most politicians, that what I said was correct, not make a quick statement. The statement I made on Saturday, the first statement, was a fine statement, but you don't make statements that direct unless you know the fact. It takes a little while to get the facts. You still don't know the facts.
Trump also went on to blame the press for being dishonest in its coverage. President Trump also said that the alt-left bears some responsibility for violence in Charlottesville, but that, quote, nobody wants to say that.
And in the aftermath of the violence in Charlottesville, many are calling for Confederate monuments across the country to be taken down. A Confederate monument right on the doorsteps of the Manatee County Courthouse is now back in the spotlight. Anthony Pusateri has been on a mission for the past month. His goal is to replace the Confederate monument with a statue of Studi the manatee. He even started a petition that has garnered more than 13,000 signatures so far. He says he understands the history aspect, but the statue has to go.
It's a memorial to people that fought for a cause that at its very core said that black people are not equal to white people, that slavery is a good thing, and I'm not okay with that.
Some residents living in Manatee County don't see it that way. We will hear from them coming up tonight at 6 o'clock.
Hate groups are growing across the nation, and some can be found right here on the Suncoast. The Southern Poverty Law Center keeps track of hate groups across the country. They found Florida ranks second in the nation with more than 60 active hate groups. California leads the nation with 79, but it's also the most populous state. Here on the Suncoast, the SPLC shows there are several hate groups, including an anti-Muslim group in Venice, a white nationalist group based in Lakewood Ranch, and the KKK in Wauchula. Nationwide, there are more than 900 hate groups. That's 133 more than in 2014.
A rabies alert has been issued for parts of the Suncoast. A rabies case has been reported in Charlotte County. According to the Florida Department of Health in Charlotte County, a rabid bat was found in someone's yard and 2 people were exposed. Rabies is spread when an animal is sick and transmits the virus through its saliva. If you see an animal acting strange, or if you are scratched or bitten by an unknown animal, you should report it to animal control.
Well, it's a once-in-a-lifetime event, and it's happening in the middle of the work and school day. Both the Sarasota and Manatee County school districts are making plans now for the solar eclipse on Monday. And the partial eclipse on the Suncoast will happen between the hours of 1:15 and 4:15 in the afternoon. In Manatee County, all outdoor activities during those hours will be moved indoors. School officials are worried about students looking at the sun without any eye protection. Principals and staff will keep bus and car riders indoors until their buses or cars arrive. And all parents are being asked to talk to their children about the dangers of looking directly at the sun. In Sarasota County, all outdoor activities will also be moved indoors during those peak hours. Parents will need to sign permission slips before students can participate in eclipse activities. And early dismissals will be allowed and excused.
Well, hopefully they could just all get the glasses and actually enjoy it instead of, and we're not even getting the full effect here. So Bob can tell us more about that in the First Alert weather forecast.
Every time I hear about the eclipse, I think of Never Look Into the Eyes of the Sun, the Manfred Mann Earth Band, if you remember that song. But you should never do it anytime, obviously. But the eclipse is going to be about 78% here. It looks like it's going to be turning dark. It's not going to be totally dark that you can't see and you need to use your lights. But it's going to be an interesting look for a long period of time here, beginning after 1 o'clock. So we'll see that. Hopefully there will be no clouds around. Sometimes we can get some high clouds, which would block a lot of that, but right now, if it happened today, it would have been perfect because there are hardly any clouds around. That's due to some very dry air that has settled in, and you can see the flat, calm seas out there. We have a west wind at around 10 miles an hour, and that is keeping most of the showers and storms, and there's not many inland. 90, and the heat index has dropped 1 degree. That's nice. 74 in the dew point. Pressure's been falling ever so slightly. That's more due to the heat of the day. And you can see the showers pushing off to the southeast again. Not much. These won't be around long. It'll be about a half hour, and most of this should start to wind on down because it's tapping into the upper levels past 30,000 feet. The dry air gets entrained in the storm, and then it weakens it, and it pushes off to the southeast. Now, as far as the radar picture goes, some moderate to heavy rainfall there again in southwestern portions of Hardee County and northern portions of DeSoto County. Well, look at all the dry air. It's just hanging right over the peninsula. On the scale, you can see the extremely dry air there. Some moisture every once in a while, pockets of it working their way in. This is going to be shrinking tomorrow. It'll still be around, but by Thursday, we'll be into the thick of things, I think, with showers and storms coming back. 89 in Orlando now. It's 92 in Miami, so the heat is really firing up due to the lack of clouds and lots of sunshine. Temperatures all in the low 90s here near the coast, mid-90s in inland areas. Arcadia at 94, although you may cool here in a little bit as some showers are nearby. Northport at 92. Well, this is the time of year we start to look in the Atlantic for these big storms to start to develop. We've got 3 separate areas we are watching. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Obviously, Gert is not having an impact in any land area at this time. More in the tropics in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now. And Richard, we want to know if we had any follow-through from yesterday's big rally.
Well, Haley, in a word, the answer is no. I'm not sure where all the buyers went. Yesterday, we had the 3rd best day of the year. Today, we had the 3rd lowest volume day of the year. Again, I don't know where everybody went. The top to bottom range for the day was only 68 points, plus 46 being the intraday high, minus 22 being the low. And when we closed, frankly, everything was flat. The biggest move of the day was 11/100ths of 1%. So I think a guy named Shakespeare said something about much ado about nothing, and I think that was today's case. Let's take a look at the figures, and they really almost went nowhere. There you see the Dow at 21,998.99, up 5 1/4 points, 2/100ths of 1% on very low volume, just 544 million shares. The NASDAQ is a loser, and there's the huge move, down 11/100ths, down 7 points at 6,333.01. That also on low volume of 1,409,000,000 shares. And the S&P, barely a whimper, down just over a point, 5/100ths of 1% at 2,464.61. Well, on a down day, sometimes you go down just because it was a down day, and that was the case for Home Depot today. Its shares fell more than 2.5%, despite the fact the company announced its biggest revenue quarter in history. It also said its same-store sales came in at 6.3%, well ahead of the estimates of 4.9%. So I don't know exactly what it is that people are looking for, but Home Depot then went out on a limb and said for the rest of the year they do think their business will improve even more. The one thing that everybody seems to be pointing at is that famous Amazon effect, and is Amazon going to impact Home Depot? So far the answer is not really, but looking forward, that's why the weakness today.
I guess I got to get there more often. Yeah. You also have news on Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yes, and people aren't getting there very often at all. Retailers, as we know, are suffering, but Dick's was down 23% today, almost unheard of. Very poor earnings, and obviously they said the reverse of Home Depot. They said things do not look good going forward.
There's just so much competition, so many places now selling similar things that Dick's would be selling.
Remember the Sports Authority?
Right, I was just going to say, the demise of that chain, they may be following that path.
Exactly.
All right, Richard, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, some dogs that are waiting for their forever homes on the Suncoast now have a nicer, bigger, and cooler waiting room.
Adoptable dogs at the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office Animal Services can now enjoy dips in their dog bone-shaped pool. The pool is just one of many renovations recently completed at the facility on Bee Ridge Road. Crews completely renovated the dogs' yard areas by adding new turf grass, fencing, canopies, lighting, and fans. There are also some new watering stations where the dogs can get water and be easily hosed off. The renovations cost around $277,000. The Sheriff's Office hopes that these new pen areas will lead to new adoptions.
As far as the amount of dogs we have available, we're probably in the 25 range right now. We have room for about 30 to 33 dogs. But basically, you know, we hope to see an increase, which we already have. So with the new renovations, we would hope that would even increase.
If you are thinking of adding a dog to your family right now, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office Animal Services offering a deal. Just $20 to adopt a dog or a cat.
Well, for dogs who love the water, what a treat that is. Huh?
Yeah, it is. Mine do not, but I know others they just want to swim all day, so they'll love it.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, a new way to get ahead of the opioid problem, what one police department is trying out to reduce the number of overdoses.
And First Alert Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your weather forecast. Plus, a team effort to save a man suffering from a medical condition. How the Coast Guard rescued this man from a tanker. That story is next.
The ABC7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac. ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wannabe Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
As a singer-songwriter, it's all about creating high-performance art that moves people. Same is true in making gorgeous cars. Fiat designs it. You're the artist.
Choose your palette just about any color combo inside out. No small wonder, state-of-the-art style Fiat.
Now this moves me. Oh, they're playing my song.
Let the art of Fiat move you at Fiat of Sarasota.
Now to a developing story in Sierra Leone.
The Israeli Foreign Ministry says it has delivered thousands of meals to the West African country as it recovers from a deadly massive mudslide. The Red Cross estimates that more than 300 people were killed and 600 others are still missing following heavy rains in and around Freetown yesterday. But that death toll number is expected to rise. Workers are still searching for people who may be buried in their homes. Many were trapped under tons of mud as they slept. Military personnel have been deployed to help with this operation.
Now to a joint rescue off Egmont Key. The Coast Guard is releasing video of the moment when crews rescued a 55-year-old man from a 550-foot tanker about 13 miles west of Egmont. Crew members on the tanker called for help, saying the man was suffering from symptoms of a heart attack. A boat from Station Cortez in Manatee and a helicopter crew from Clearwater were both launched. The chopper hoisted the man and flew him to Tampa General Hospital, where he's now in stable condition. That rescue worked out.
I guess
Yes, it did.
Kind of lucky it was close enough to the coast. Even though it was way out in the middle of the Gulf. Tough
Imagine
going.
that.
Yeah. We're looking at not many storms. You know, I look forward to these storms in the afternoon. Not the severe ones, just enough to cool us down a little bit.
Off,
We
right.
haven't had that in a while. August is typically one of the wettest months too, and we're about almost 3 inches below average. So we could use some rainfall. It's coming back. We're going to see some of that, and you'll see that in the first alert forecast in just a minute. We have a beautiful sunshine out there. If you like that, we have plenty of it, and it looks as though we're going to continue to see that again tomorrow too, as a result of dry air that continues to hang over the top of us. So limited afternoon and evening thunderstorms anticipated on your Wednesday, and the Van Wezel webcam again showing flat, calm seas out there. Just a few showers, a few storms, mainly inland this afternoon, pushing off toward the east at this time. You can see one lone shower and thunderstorm activity there in southern portions of Hardee County. And into DeSoto County, we're seeing a little bit more convergence, but these storms won't be around all that long as they head off to the east. And as far as rainfall estimates for the past 12 hours, there hadn't been a lot. There were a few isolated showers off in the Gulf to start things off in the morning, and we'll see some again tomorrow. Now, this is the satellite imagery of a hurricane, and this is the second hurricane of the season. And to have two hurricanes prior to this date is a little unusual. It's ahead of schedule. And we'll watch this move off to the northeast in between Bermuda and the United States, as it has no direct impact on any land area at this time. It is generating some big surf, though, along the east coast. 90 in Bradenton, 93 degrees now the water temperature at the end of the Venice Pier, 92 in Northport, 92 in Punta Gorda. There's plenty of energy out there in the Gulf. Hopefully no storms move through it. Right now, that Gulf of Mexico, very warm with a lot of fuel in it. The dew point temperature at 74 now. Winds are out of the west at 10, and the wind flow will be light and variable for the most part. Coming in out of the west-northwest, it will switch around a little bit in the morning out of the east, but not enough to help things out. Quickly, a west wind will carry any shower activity that does develop well inland, pushing off toward the east. Now, we will eventually start to see more of a southeasterly component beginning on Thursday. We'll set up the convergence, and showers and storms will be back in the forecast. Well, this is looking a little bit more defined now. It could become a Category 2 hurricane in time as it makes its way off to the northeast. It's over some very warm water just to the west of Bermuda, and conditions are going to become a little bit more favorable for that to develop, say, late Wednesday. Well, there's the forecast path and track indicating it will be a 1, but I have a feeling that it may get up to 2 status before long. Winds are out of the north. It's moving to the north-northeast at 12, and the top winds are at 30. And the forecast path and track is calling for this storm to be a nice storm, so to speak, not hitting any land area at all as it makes its way off toward the northeast. Well, we have to wait and see on the storms out there in the Atlantic. We have 3 separate areas we're watching right now. This one in particular, the one right behind it, showing a little bit more action around what appears to be a low-pressure area. And this is disturbance 1 moving off to the west. This is the forecast track and path, at least, of some of the forecast models for disturbance 1. Now, disturbance 2 a different story. That's heading off to the northwest, and this one bears watching behind. It has a little bit better chance of developing in the next 2 days at 30%. And this is where it's going to be in 5 days. This is where it will be in 5 days, disturbance number 1 in the Caribbean. So something to watch, nothing to worry about at this point. For boaters, winds will be light. It'll be rather variable out there with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The extended forecast shapes up like this. 7 days, calling for a slight chance on Wednesday, 50% on Thursday, and then it stays high on Friday with showers and storms in the mix, and it looks as though we'll stay fairly active right through the weekend and beyond. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to First Alert traffic. Right now, we're seeing traffic backed up on US 301 in downtown Sarasota. This is both north and southbound lanes right near Fruitvale Road. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, a test to experiment for opioid overdoses. Police in Massachusetts are testing a new database for documenting opioid overdoses in real time and getting people into treatment. The database was developed in part by criminal justice experts at Roger Williams University in Rhode Island. When a department is called to an overdose, it is recorded in the system. The system then alerts the department to do a follow-up outreach visit. Within 24 hours of a non-fatal overdose, a non-uniformed officer and a recovery coach will go to the person's house to discuss treatment and offer resources to their family. Researchers are pointing out what they say are deficiencies in rat research. A study by Texas A&M AgriLife and the University of Colorado found male-only rat models used for studying obesity are limited and don't address critical factors for understanding the condition. The study's primary investigator says a major impediment to understanding and helping solve the obesity epidemic is the common scientific practice of using only male rats in diet-induced obesity research. Some funding agencies are now encouraging and even requiring studies be designed to address sex differences. Coming up, a huge crash in Central Park. A mother and her young children are pinned down when a huge tree comes toppling over. Plus, a foamy mess. What caused this airport hangar to be covered in suds? That's straight ahead.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
No theater lover's bucket list is complete without the classic black comedy Arsenic and Old Lace. Two adorable old ladies who just happen to poison their tenants and bury them in their basement. Fun and farcical, this hilarious play is heating up the summer at the Players Center from August 9th through the 20th. Call 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll die laughing when you see Arsenic and Old Lace.
Jacuzzi is proud to present our first ever safe bathing event. The Jacuzzi walk-in tub allows you or a loved one to take a safe and relaxing bath. Never climb in and out of a regular bathtub again. Our walk-in tub offers a low step-in threshold, fast drain technology, soothing hydrotherapy, and even a shower handle. Regain bathing independence with a Jacuzzi walk-in tub and enjoy spending more time with loved ones. Why wait any longer? During our safe bathing event, save $750 on a new walk-in tub. Receive $250 in safety upgrades and a $100 Visa gift card. But if you call right now during this program, We'll double the savings to $1,500, double the safety upgrades to $500, and double it to a $200 Visa gift card with your walk-in tub purchase. Call right now to save double on a new walk-in tub. Call now.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
A woman and her 3 young children are hurt after a huge tree fell on top of them in Central Park.
The tree just suddenly collapsed inside the iconic Midtown New York green space. Late this morning, the mother was briefly pinned down by the tree and suffered a severe head wound. The 3 children, one just a month old, suffered bruises and scratches but were not seriously hurt. People who were walking and riding their bikes nearby stopped to try and help.
And all of a sudden I started hearing the breaking branches and stuff. So I got off of my bike, I ran on the other side, and I tried to help out. But the people were pulling a tree off the lady and stuff, breaking branches and stuff, And she finally came to. She was okay. There was no bleeding or nothing like that.
Still unclear what caused that tree to fall.
An airport hangar in Maine was left oozing after a fire suppression system went off. It filled the hangar at the Auburn-Lewiston Airport with foam. Officials say the system was accidentally set off during routine maintenance. Employees were forced to evacuate the building, but fire officials say the foam is water soluble and does not pose any serious health risks. Airport operations and runways were unaffected by the mess.
So, love breakfast? Well, check this out. Hundreds of people gathered in a Belgian town for an annual giant omelet event. Cooks and volunteers broke nearly 10,000 eggs and threw them on an oversized pan with oil, bacon, and green onions. After the omelet was cooked, they cut out some portions for the crowd. This is the 22nd year of the event, which is hosted by a non-profit organization. Where do you find pans that big? I mean, look at that.
Mass amounts of food. It's very unappetizing to me. My mom would always make fun of me because I said I hate group food. I hate when you just have large amounts. It's just questionable.
You want one just for you?
I just like the individual meals. I'm more in that style, but it's pretty cool that they can make that happen. Yeah. Still to come on your Suncoast News, getting kids to and from school.
The bus driver shortage that's plaguing school districts across the country and here on the Suncoast. The story coming up.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Attention blood thinner users. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The widely prescribed blood thinners Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to a number of dangerous side effects, including internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney bleeding, stroke, brain hemorrhaging, and even death. If you or a loved one suffered any of these injuries after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Discover all the reasons the experts love Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is the best overall brand for 2 years running and the most trusted brand for 3 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Right now, you can lease one of Subaru's most versatile vehicles, the Subaru Crosstrek, for as little as $189 a month, or get 0% financing. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sport Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Join the fun at the Weddings of Sarasota 17th Annual Wedding Show at the iconic Sarasota Municipal Auditorium on US 41. Sunday, August 27th from noon to 4. Enjoy food, fun, and entertainment with a runway show on stage at 3 p.m. $2,000 in Weddings of Sarasota dollars given out after the runway show. You must be present to win. Pre-register at weddingsofsarasota.com. Brides and grooms are free if registered by midnight on August 25th. Weddings of Sarasota. Register today.